Tonight for dinner on the homestead, we're having Salsa Verde Rabbit with seasoned black beans and brown rice. On our homestead, we have rabbit for dinner at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. We don't buy any meat from the store. We either raise it on our homestead or we hunt it on our land. It's normal on our homestead for each meal to be mostly made up of things that we've produced on the homestead. It's one of the things we love most about living on the homestead and trying to live as self-sustainable of a life as possible. Things in our homestead are generally homemade. Most everything is from scratch. Today's recipe is super easy. Honestly, I'm not sure you could get any easier. Now, on our homestead, we eat a lot of rabbit, like I said, and we don't eat it the same way every time. As a family, we've actually collected our most favorite rabbit recipes and put them all in a little cookbook. And if you're interested in knowing more about that, you can check it out on our Etsy store. It's only $5. We're going to season the meat with salt and pepper. And then also with onion powder and garlic powder. Next, we're going to smother it with an entire pint jar of homemade Salsa Verde. Recently, I did a video on how to make Salsa Verde with our leftover green tomatoes when our tomato season was over. And you can go ahead and check out that video if you'd like to learn how. Oftentimes when cooking rabbit, the meat can turn out pretty dry and maybe a little tough. There are 3 ways that I prevent this from happening. And the reason why that can happen is because rabbit meat is so lean that it doesn't have a lot of fat to keep all the moisture in and to keep it juicy. So there are 3 things that I do to make sure that this rabbit will be amazingly moist and juicy. The first thing is I cook it on a low heat. I cook it at 325 for 40 to 60 minutes, low and slow. The second rule that I always follow is I always cover it with a sauce, which locks in all of that moisture. And the third thing I do is I always cover it tightly with foil. The size of the rabbit will determine how long you'll need to cook it in the oven. A smaller rabbit will take about 40 minutes, a larger rabbit should take about an hour. But the optimal temperature that you need to reach is somewhere between 160 and 165 degrees for the internal temperature of the meat. While the rabbit is in the oven, I'm going to get started on the beans. Now in our homestead, we actually don't buy canned beans. We buy dry beans and then cook them before we use them. Oftentimes, I will can them in the pressure canner so that I have the convenience available, but I haven't done that in a while. Hopefully that'll be a project I can get to soon, maybe over the winter. But for now, I'm just cooking them as I need them, which is really a lot more simple than you would think. Today, the black beans that we'll be having with our dinner, they're seasoned. I actually won't be following the recipe, I'll just be kind of winging it, but I know they're gonna taste great. I'm gonna put a full onion in the seasoned black beans, along with some garlic, some cumin, some roasted green chilies from the garden, and a little bit of poultry broth. While the meat has reached temperature, it's time for some finishing touches. So we finished it off by smothering it with cheese and just sprinkling on a little bit of fresh cilantro. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a beautiful plate for dinner. Wow, it looks and smells fantastic. Well, it looks like I need to serve dinner. You guys, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead today to learn another way to cook rabbit. If you enjoyed this video, right now is a perfect time to hit the subscribe button below. For all of you faithful traditionalists that come back 5 days a week to watch every one of our videos, thank you so much. Before you go, if you'll share this video on all your social media, we would really appreciate it. And until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.